To make a decision between two pretty similar watches is a tough choice. And right here with the Fossil Gen 5 and the Ticwatch E3, we have exactly that problem. Now today we will take a look at the different features that we get with these two watches, compare how accurate they are in the tracking area, the battery life, and if there are ways to improve them. And for last, of course, we'll take a look at the design, the specs, and the pricing. Hey folks, my name is Leonard and you're watching The Product Reviewer. That's me. Now before we start with the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing if you're new to the channel. Also click the notification bell to always be notified whenever I upload new videos. Now with that being out of the way, let's start with the pricing. Actually, both watches are not that expensive if you're looking at what they have to offer. The Fossil Gen 5 will cost you right around 180 euros right now. The base price might be 300, but since this one is already 2 years old, you will always find a reduced one somewhere. You just have to look around a little bit. The Ticwatch E3 will cost you 200 euros straight, and since this one was only released this year, I couldn't find any deals. And I guess that's all there is to say about the pricing, so let's head over to the accuracy of the tracking in the GPS. And surprisingly, the Fossil Gen 5 came on top, even though this one is 2 years older than the Ticwatch E3. I was comparing these two watches to the Polar H10 chestband, and the Fossil Gen 5 is doing very good. It was only off by like 1 beat in the average heart rate, and it was only off by 7 beats in the maximum heart rate. So very good. As for the Ticwatch E3, this one didn't do too good. It was off by like 20 beats in the average heart rate and 30 beats off in the maximum heart rate. So really not that great. As for the step counter and for the distance, both watches were very good. Just the calorie counter was a little bit better on the Fossil Gen 5 and was not that great on the Ticwatch E3, but that was probably because we get a higher average heart rate. One thing I noticed is that the Fossil Gen 5 is not always tracking your pace or distance. So you have to watch out a little bit when you start your workout. Another big point on my list is the battery life. And unfortunately, both watches have major flaws in that department. The Fossil Gen 5 and the Ticwatch E3 only last for about 24 hours if you have everything turned on, like the 24/7 heart rate monitoring, sleep tracking, always on display mode, just to mention a few. The Ticwatch E3 has no real battery saving mode. I mean, you can turn down the brightness settings or you can turn off some functions, but you don't get a real saving mode. As for the Fossil Gen 5, we have four different ones. You have the daily mode, in which your smartwatch will last for about a day, and you have all the features available. You have the watch only mode, in which you can only have access to the time, and the extended mode, in which you only have to charge the watch every few days. And for last, we have the custom mode, which is my personal favorite. With this one, you can schedule when your Bluetooth is activated, or you can change your different screen wake options, just to mention a few. So actually, unlike with the extended mode, which is a fixed preset of settings, you can change things up in the custom mode to fit your likings. Now let's finally get to the differences of the specs and the design. And obviously, both watches look totally different. The Fossil Gen 5 has 3 physical buttons on the side. The upper and lower one are customizable, so you can connect any of your widgets with them. And the middle one takes you to your app menu and back. This one is also rotatable, so you have another way of going through your app menu or notifications. The Ticwatch E3 has only 2 physical buttons, of which only the lower one is customizable. The upper one takes you either to your app menu or back to your home screen. Besides that, the two watches only have 2 more differences. One is that the Fossil Gen 5 has a 1.28-inch AMOLED touch display with a resolution of 416 by 416 pixel, whereas the Ticwatch E3 has a 1.3-inch glass front with only a lower resolution of 360 by 360 pixel, and you can definitely see your fingerprints a little bit more on that one. The second difference is that the Ticwatch E3 has the newer Snapdragon 4100 processor, and the Fossil Gen 5 only has the older one, the 3100. Besides that, everything is about the same. So you have built-in GPS, you have built-in speakers and a mic, NFC payment, 1 GB of RAM, and 8 gigs of internal storage. And oh, by the way, both watches are compatible with iOS and Android. Now for my last point, let me tell you right quick what features you get with both of these watches. And after that, I will tell you what features you only get with the Ticwatch E3. So both watches have Google Voice Assistant, so you can ask the watch anything you want to. You have a rather accurate sleep tracker, which is showing you your sleep duration and the different sleep stages. Through the built-in speaker and mic, you can receive calls and answer them right on your wrist, even though it still looks kind of goofy. You can download apps like Spotify, you have an alarm, stopwatch, timer, and a weather widget, with which you have a little weather forecast for the day. As well as we receive all kinds of notifications on these watches, like from WhatsApp, Instagram, or emails. and we can even reply to them with either our own text, or we can choose a quick answer if you are too lazy to type. As for the sport modes, we have our first little difference. Both watches have the Google Fit workouts, but in addition, the Fossil Gen 5 has the wellness app, and the Ticwatch of course have the Tic exercises. But in my opinion, both really don't bring any benefits. Just one more honorable mention, both of these watches have a whole bunch of different watch faces to choose from, and some of them are even customizable to a certain degree. Now with that being said, that's it for the video. Now if you want to have a more in-depth look into both of these watches, I already covered both of these watches in my channel, so I will leave the link to the reviews in the description below, just in case you want to check them out. Now with that being said, see you next time. Peace.